Okay, this is the last model. Here what you can see is the floor of the oral cavity. Here we can see the arches. Okay, 5 arches, 6th arch disappears. Now here are the ectoderm. This is the ectoderm. This is the endoderm inside. In between mesoderm. Okay. So here we can also ask what are the derivatives of first arch, second arch, third arch, fourth arch, sixth arch. Like that we can ask all the arches derivatives. Okay, fifth arch disappears and sixth arch remains. So we will ask the derivatives of arches also. So you'll have to go back and read derivatives of first arch, muscles, vessels, and nerves. Nerves of all the arches can be asked here. First arch nerve, okay, mandibular nerve. Second arch nerve, facial nerve. Third arch nerve, glossopharyngeal. Fourth arch nerve, internal laryngeal nerve. Sixth arch nerve, recurrent laryngeal nerve. Okay, so like that you'll have to remember all the nerves, and muscles are simply the muscles supplied by the nerve. Okay, so first arch mandibular nerve. Mandibular nerve, all the muscles of mastication. Okay, muscles of mastication come here. Then we also get mylohyoid, anterior belly of digastric. So all this comes under mandibular nerve. Second is facial nerve. Second arch is facial nerve. Facial nerve supplies what muscles? We have got stapedius in the ear. We have got posterior belly of digastric. We have got stylohyoid muscle, muscles of facial expression. So all these are the muscles derived from second arch as well. Third is glossopharyngeal nerve, supplies only one muscle, stylopharyngeus. Okay. So then fourth arch is internal laryngeal nerve. Internal laryngeal nerve supplies cricothyroid. Internal laryngeal is actually coming, it is coming from superior laryngeal nerve, which gives external laryngeal, internal laryngeal. It supplies cricothyroid muscle. Okay, also thyropharyngeus muscle. Then we have last sixth arch. Sixth arch nerve supplies, recurrent laryngeal nerve supplies all the muscles of the larynx except cricothyroid. Okay, so these are the muscles derived from the arches as well. That question can be also asked. Then we also ask muscles, vessels, nerves. Okay, cartilage, bone, bony structures derived from the arches. Okay, please go back and read. That model is not here, but then they can ask you, examiner can ask you that question. Okay, bony elements derived from the pharyngeal arches. So in this model, we are looking at the development of the tongue. Here, development of the tongue, first arch onwards, we can see lingual swellings and tuberculum impar. Okay, so lingual swellings and tuberculum impar join together to form anterior 2/3 of the tongue. Okay, anterior 2/3 of the tongue. Then we have posteriorly hypobranchial eminence. This is called as hypobranchial eminence, coming from the third and fourth arches. Second arch will be overlapped by third and fourth arches. So here you can see third arch onwards, hypobranchial eminence, anterior portion comes. Sixth arch onwards, fourth arch onwards, we get posterior part of hypobranchial eminence. So total overall tongue has got 3 parts: anterior 2/3, posterior 1/3, posterior most part of the tongue. Okay, which is forming the root of the tongue. Anterior 2/3 is coming from first arch, from the lingual swellings and tuberculum impar. Posterior 1/3 of the tongue is coming from the third arch. That's why it is supplied by glossopharyngeal nerve. Anterior 2/3 is supplied by lingual nerve, which is a branch of mandibular division of trigeminal nerve. And posterior most part is supplied by what? Posterior most part is supplied by internal laryngeal, actually vagus. Okay, vagus via vagus nerve comes from the carotid sheath and gives off a branch and supplies here. Okay, so internal laryngeal is also branch of vagus. Okay, remember that. So here we can ask nerve supply, we can ask development of the tongue. We also can ask what are the structures which you can see here. Between the anterior 2/3 and posterior 1/3, we'll see foramen cecum. From the foramen cecum, we get thyroglossal ducts. We can also ask what are the anomalies related to the tongue and thyroid. Okay, please read and come. Anomalies related to tongue and thyroid. Okay. Then posterior most portion onwards, two regions come. Posterior most part of the tongue from the hypobronchial two parts, anterior part and posterior part. Anterior part forms the posterior most part of the tongue and the posterior part forms the epiglottis. Okay, so that's why we'll see that epithelium is lining both the areas. Okay, epiglottis and the tongue together. So this is how we'll study the tongue model. Okay, clear? I hope all of you are clear. Only these models will be displayed for your examination. Tomorrow on Saturday, you can come and have a revision of all these models. Look at these models and study. And if you have any questions, you can ask me now. I will send you the recordings. Later on, you can study from the recording. But you'll have to go back and at least give one reading about at least these models. Okay? Clear, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So with this, I will end the presentation and I will post the recording in the group. In the folder, common folder. Please go back and see the folder. Okay.